Hi, I'm Coach Heidi, and I want to tell you a little bit about my transformation story.
Who is Heidi Speaker?
Whew, that's a good question. um, I would say if I were looking on the outside of me, Heidi Speaker is a very driven individual. She's highly motivated, highly energetic. She has a lot of love and kindness and passion in life to live to her fullest potential and just experience all that life has to offer. And then in the process of that, she wants to inspire others to do that as well, to live their best life, to get the maximum amount of joy and experience that life has to offer. My husband and I, we got married in September, and the following February, I went to go buy lingerie for our first Valentine's Day. I was pretty excited, and I got into the dressing room and I, tried on my first piece and looked in the mirror behind me. We didn't even have a full body mirror we were living in like a 400 square foot apartment in San Francisco. It was tiny. So this is the first time I'd seen my whole body since I'd gotten married, and I was not happy with the way I looked. Just seeing that, I was like, man, like it kind of shot my confidence. And I realized like I need to focus on my health again, and I need to do it the right way. So I started doing tons of research, and discovered that weightlifting was like the way to go. I'm like, if I want to look the way I want to look and feel confident in my body, I knew I had to start weight training. And then I ended up competing in bodybuilding, which was an incredible experience. I absolutely loved it. But I still felt like I struggled with, obviously bodybuilding, that kind of diet is not sustainable either. And I never really learned the tools of sustainability outside of a bodybuilding prep. So I kind of became addicted to this like bodybuilding prep lifestyle because I did feel really in control. I did feel awesome. I had tons of energy. But then when I didn't have that kind of goal or that kind of lifestyle, I kind of felt out of control, and like I didn't have the right goals and things like that. So I was prepping for another competition, then I had nationals coming up, and had this overwhelming feeling not to compete in this next competition. And I was like, all right, maybe God is guiding me, and maybe I should basically like take a break. Maybe I should give my body a break so I do better at nationals. That was like my thinking. And so I told my coaches, hey, I feel like I shouldn't compete in this show, but let's still aim for nationals. And so we kind of readjusted my programming and training regimen and had my sights set on nationals that summer. And then again, just, through prayer and meditation and stuff, I had another feeling not to do nationals. And I was like, man, God, like what was going on? Like, you better have something good in store for me. And then one day we were sitting in church, my husband and I, and the feeling came so strongly it was time to have a baby. And so 2 months later, we were pregnant with our first child. And it was so exciting. And I was so grateful for that experience. It was an incredible opportunity to be a mom. I remember like bringing her home and just thinking like, man, I want to have 100 babies, because it was just such an incredible experience. And I loved it. I loved every minute of being a mom. It was really hard. I mean, I wouldn't say I had like an easy pregnancy. Like you hear some people just have easy pregnancies. I was nauseous. I was really tired. But I worked my way through it. I stayed active my whole pregnancy. I was so grateful for the habits I'd built before that in terms of working out, weight training, eating healthy, because I think that really helped my pregnancy a lot. Then I got pregnant with our second child, and after we had him, a couple months after the pregnancy, I started having a lot of odd symptoms of depression and anxiety, and I felt like my hormones were just all over the place. And it was really, really hard. I had never experienced any kind of like mental instability before. I've always like kind of prided myself on my strong mentality. Felt like I could fight my way through anything. I had both my children naturally, and I've just done a lot of other really hard things in my life, and felt like, I'm tough. I can do anything. And that like really broke me. I think more than anything I'd ever been through in my life. Not just because that's such a hard thing to go through, but it was also like an identity crisis for me, because I had always been this strong, tough person, and I felt like that was taken away from me, and I just felt broken. And a lot of my symptoms, like there were days I was so tired, like I couldn't get out of bed. I remember my daughter I tell my daughter, she was 2, and I had a new baby, and I'd have her just go get a box of granola bars from the cupboard, and we just lay in bed until like 2 p.m. eating granola bars and watching TV, because I just didn't have the energy to do anything else. And then I remember, kind of a breaking point for me, or a tipping point of like I knew I needed help, was I had laid my son out on, we had like one of those little play mats that you put your babies on. Has like little toys on the top, and I laid him on there, and I mean he didn't move, right? He was just an infant. But I laid him on there on his back, and I went to take my daughter in her bedroom for a nap, and I was laying down with her, and I just had this thought like, oh, I should go move my son, like he could suffocate, if he's on there by himself for too long. Like, what if he turns over and he can't breathe or something? And then I had this thought like, I wouldn't care if he suffocated and died. It would make my life so much easier. And that's how I literally felt at the time. And that was like heartbreaking to me, that I actually I didn't have the energy to care about my own son. And I knew that no child deserved a mom that had that kind of lack of love and care. So yeah, I went to the doctor, and I got on an antidepressant medication, and it kicked in about 2 weeks, and I just felt this incredible weight lifted off my shoulders. That antidepressant worked for about 4 weeks, and we had a really good stretch, and then one day it just stopped working, and my symptoms just came back full force. There were other side effects to the medication that I didn't love, and I'm like, well, if it's not working, I'm gonna come off it. So I weaned off of the medication. I got in touch with my doctor as well, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna try managing this naturally. I started working out. I found a trainer in Vegas, would work out with a team of women, which was so awesome and really, really helpful. But I was still just, I had self-harm tendencies. I would experience suicidal thoughts on a regular basis. So anyways, I went and found a psychiatrist, and, she was so awesome. Way better than a primary care doctor, because psychiatrists are so specialized in medications for your brain health, whereas primary care doctors don't have as much training or knowledge or education in that aspect of the brain. So she was awesome. She figured out the right medications, the right dosages for me. And again, within a week, I was 100% better. One of my symptoms of going through all that was extreme aggression. And I wanted to hit things, I wanted to punch things. But instead I would go take out my aggression at the gym. Having that outlet and that a healthy source for me to take out my frustration and my aggression, and I knew that that was, you know, in the long term as well, benefiting my health and my overall goals and lifestyle. And then that just, it really opened my eyes to how much our mental health and our emotional health affect our physical health and our spiritual health. And, you know, in training others and coaching, it's like I used to be so focused on just the physical, like getting all the science right for macros and how much protein and carbs and fat you're supposed to have, and, you know, how your training has to align with your nutrients. And now I take a much more holistic approach. I focus on the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, and the physical, because I realized they're not mutually exclusive. You could have incredible physical health, but really crappy mental health. And, you know, that's gonna affect you. It's gonna affect your ability to have energy. It's gonna affect your ability to have good relationships and, you know, fulfill the other passions that you have in life. And I think that all of that is a well-rounded, balanced approach to having happiness and joy in life. And ultimately, that's everyone's goal, right? Like, we want to have more happiness. We want to have more joy. We want to create a life that we love, that we're excited to wake up to every day, that's worth living, bettering my relationships, bettering my creativity, finding things that I really love and am passionate about, spending more time in those areas too. So my husband, his name is Steven. He's incredible. Let me breathe so I don't cry when I talk about how awesome he is. I'm gonna brag about him here for a minute. So he scored in the 99.9th percentile in the dental admissions test. So he's just, in a nutshell, very, very smart. He has like one of those well, I don't know if it's a photographic memory, but he can recall like any statistic or fact or anything. On like, I think it was our third date, where we were talking about our favorite books. And I was like, oh, a book, you know, one of the books that changed my life was 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. I read that when I was a kid. He listed off all the 7 habits from memory. I was like, man, I thought that book changed my life, but I can't even remember all the 7 habits. And he's just like good at whatever he does. So he decided to paint, you know, so he's like, I want to do a canvas painting. And we found this photo of me and my son, and he painted that. That was like his first ever canvas painting. Delilah, she's 5. She's super spunky. She's my face, but Steven's personality. She's very smart and sneaky and just quirky and funny. She's already loves painting and drawing, and she has, you know, a little addictive personality. My husband and I both have ADD, and we're like 99% sure she has ADD too. I'll tell her 100 times to go put her shoes on, and I still find her like doing something random, and I'm like, where's your shoes? And she just gets distracted on the way to go get her shoes on. My son, on the other hand, I'm like, Sonny, go put your shoes on, and next time I see him, he has his shoes on. So he's really good at that kind of stuff. Lately, since we moved here to Texas, we love our pool. We love swimming. We love jumping on the trampoline. We love playing outside, going for bike rides. We go to the parks. We love doing like pillow fights and dance parties and reading stories, and we love watching movies. My husband set up a projector in our master bedroom so we can lay in bed and watch big movies on the projector. That's really fun. Yeah, we like making food and cooking. And now with our new dining table, we like sitting down every night together and eating a good family dinner with each other. Like, I think in so many ways, I feel like my life has just begun. It just started. And I still have so many, like, even since overcoming postpartum depression and like where I am now, I feel like I've just had so many amazing experiences and just have had an incredible life, really, that I just feel so much gratitude for. And, you know, I just think anyone that's struggling with that, like, that's like my number one advice is like, remember that it's temporary, or whatever you're going through in life, you know, whatever it is that you're struggling with, whether it's depression or a job loss or COVID-19 or homeschooling or, you know, whatever, that it's all temporary, and that you'll get past it, you'll get through it. And creating that foundation of health and fitness is what's gonna help you like really overcome and have, I think, exponential success. So that is, in summary, my transformation story. The good, the bad, the ugly, and all of the glory. I'm so excited for each of you now to embark on your own transformation story. This is the beginning of a new start, a fresh start, one where you can become the person that you've always wanted to be and achieve the goals that you've always wanted to achieve. You have the right tools, you have the right guidance, you have the right team, and we're gonna take you to a new level. Peace, love, Gainz.